Hey guys, I'd like to talk to you about the Spyderco military. That is, I'd like to give you my thoughts on it. I've used the knife ever since I got it, but for the last 2.5 weeks, I've carried this as an only knife with me and used it for everything that I needed a knife for. I'd like to start off by saying that if you're looking for an EDC knife to do your everyday tasks with, maybe this is not the best choice. Not that this is not a fun knife and a really good working knife. No, it is. But it's overkill. It's a bit big, and it does not carry as well as it could. The clip is only mounted for tip down right hand side carry, and that for me is a bit problematic. I'm going to show you why. If I were to carry the knife like this, every time I go in my pocket I feel the blade. I don't like that, and this is where I hold my keys. Every time I would put my keys inside here, there's a chance they would catch on the spider hole. Pulling my keys out, once again, it could catch on my blade and open it. And I would really, really hate to put my hand in and pull it out while the blade is open. I carry it on my left hand side. Putting my hand inside my pocket is no problem. Actually, feels really okay, and there's no risk of me cutting my hand. This has never happened to me with any blade that it opened inside my pocket, but better safe than sorry. I don't have a problem because I have to carry it on my left hand side to feel perfectly safe, and I don't really need my knife that fast that I need to take it out and quickly cut an apple. So for me, that is really not a problem. However, one more problem that's brought on by the clip, the style of the clip and the positioning of it, is that so much of the knife stands out of your pocket. And whenever you sit down, the knife will move with your leg and it will poke you. It can get a bit uncomfortable. I've got accustomed to it and I just shift it to a side, no problem. Now, the liners are not full nested liners. That does not affect the stability of the knife in the hand, and I was surprised by that. And that is probably due to the spacer that it has in here. I would like for this knife to be a flow-through design with full nested liners, but as it is, I think it's okay. Because of those reasons, a big blade, it taking a lot of room in your pocket, being a bit uncomfortable to carry, I don't really recommend this as an EDC knife for regular people. However, if you work with a knife the whole day and you may wear cargo pants, these problems may not be yours. Also, you would really benefit from this very big blade, especially if you work with gloves. Now this is a folder, as such it will never be as comfortable as a fixed blade. Working with gloves with this knife, number one, it's really easy to deploy the blade and to close it. For that, I do have my gloves here. I do tend to take my gloves every time out in the woods, even though in the summer I don't really use them. And you can see these gloves are taped together, so dexterity is not going to be this good. Even so, with the big spider hole, you really have no problem deploying the blade and putting it back in the handle. If you have to grab the knife with a gloved hand, it feels great. If not, well, the clip can get a bit uncomfortable. but clips are never comfortable regardless of the knife. If you could move the clip down here, I have a feeling that it will feel better in the hand. However, you can't really do that unless you just want to put the screws into G10, because it doesn't have any liners here, and G10 would be the only thing holding the clip. How fragile that is or how safe that is, I have no idea. Everybody has to decide for themselves. I've learned to live with it. Now, the liner lock. I like the compression lock on the paramilitary. However, I think it's not the most practical for work because, and as it happens, I do have the paramilitary here. You open it, and that works fine. And you don't have this cutout here that would bother you. Feels great. But when you have to close it, you have to shift your whole hand, depress it, and swing it. To me, those are just too many moves. With this one, do your cutting, do whatever seems easier and more practical and safer, because the knife does not have an edge that comes up to the handle like some other models, like the Tenacious, for example. And when you depress the liner lock and close the blade, it'll close with the jimping on your thumbnail, and that's not a problem. And then you can just pull your finger out of the way. Usually I do it really fast like this, and then it's already out of the way. But even if you forget to pull your thumb out of the way, it's not going to cut you, and that's a very nice thing. Now, the liner lock, you can see it. It has some jimping over here. Very small, very aggressive. And depressing the liner lock is very easy. The jimping merely serves to hold your thumb, and it does that very well. I could play with this knife all day long, and my thumb would not hurt. In fact, I do play with this knife all day long, and my thumb does not hurt. So, well done, Spyderco. The pivot seems to be very strong. I never took this knife apart. My paramilitary, I couldn't help myself. I had to see what was in there. With this one, it's a straightforward liner lock, so I didn't feel the need to take it apart. And just looked at it. Looks very solid. From what everybody else is saying, it is very solid. I see it like this. It has the thickest part of the blade right here, 4 millimeters. Probably has some washers that are fairly stable, and it has the liners here, so it's going to be stable. The jimping on top here and on the bottom here is very small. Once again, very small, very aggressive. It does not hurt your thumb. I'm not a big fan of jimping. If it's there, I only wish it won't hurt my thumb. It doesn't, and it does hold my thumb in place, which is nice. I mostly hold the knife like this when I cut. I don't really go all up on the blade. I just hold it like this, and I feel very comfortable using it like this and very safe. The spider hole. What is there to say about the spider hole? In this model, there is something to be said about the spider hole, and that is it does not get in the way. I've cut cardboard with this knife. I've cut cardboard with many other knives solely for test purposes. And with this one, the Spyderco hole never got in the way. With the Sage, whenever I used to cut cardboard, I used to really have to control where the blade was and where the hole was. With this one, you have so much blade that the hole does not get in the way. I think that's nice. Now, I did sharpen this knife 3 times. First time I put it on my Lansky, and I put a 20 degree per side edge angle, which is what I have on basically all my V-edges folders that I use. And afterwards, I've sharpened it 2 more times, and I've stropped it to keep it sharp. That worked well. I don't really want to get into how well it holds an edge, because I never tested that. I tested that for the paramilitary, That one held its edge really well. This one, honestly, I can't say. I think it does a great job, but every time I work with it, or didn't work with it, the night after, I used to drop it. What I do like about this knife, and it's the same with the paramilitary too, is the fact that the blade thins out towards the tip. And that really helps you with cutting tasks. The further away you get from the handle with a cut, the less control you have. With blades that have a nice distal taper, you still have a lot of control with the tip. A lot, maybe, is saying too much. But it is better than with blades that don't have a distal taper. And I must say, I do like that. Now, the most fragile part about this knife is the tip. It is very acute, very thin. The blade is very thin as it goes towards the tip, and you can see it's very acute, very sharp. For my paramilitary too, I took a diamond file and I took a bit off the tip. I didn't want to do this for this one because I said, you know what, I'm going to leave it as it is. Just be extra careful. I've used the knife for wood cutting, cardboard, plastic, and especially food prep. Does great. Does really, really a great job. These were my opinions about the Spyderco military. I wanted one for a long time. I got it. I work with it. I was never ever sorry that I got it. I think it's a great knife, and for me it will stay a knife for the woods and the off and on occasion when I go to a cabin or go hiking. I rather have a big folder than a small fixed blade with me. That is just the way I like it. I hope you liked the video. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I wish you all a great day.